they're each gonna try to prove who can be the best bookseller. It's kind of student professor, and I'm like, I don't know if I love that. I looked up and it was over.
It's a little...
Hi everyone, it's me. Welcome to today's video. This reading vlog is going to be so much fun because once again, I am actually putting my reading week out of my hands. So I will not be choosing what I read this week. I am actually going to be putting that decision into the hands of some expert booksellers. So we did this, what was it, around a year and a half at this point. I went to Hopeless Romantic Books, which is my favorite indie bookstore here in Toronto, and the co-owner of the store, Kirsten, was lovely enough to choose 3 books for me to read. Now, Kirsten, for one, since that video, has wanted a redemption because she feels like she can do better in terms of her recommendations. But just to make things even more exciting, we're gonna turn this week of reads into kind of a competition between all of the booksellers. So we're gonna find out which bookseller can recommend me the best book. Basically, we're gonna have 3 booksellers recommend me 3 books, and whichever book I rate the highest is the bookseller who will win. So we're gonna have Kirsten choose a book for me. We're also gonna have the wonderful Shelly and also Liz. So let's just head over to Hopeless Romantic Books and see what they pick for me to read. Here at Hopeless Romantic Books, the cutest bookstore in the world. I had to bring my pink microphone, obviously, because it just fits the vibe. But we have our 3 wonderful booksellers here. So we have Shelly, we have Kirsten, we have Liz, and they're each gonna try and recommend a book for me to prove who can be the best bookseller. So I think everyone has your selections. I was gonna say, do you have any questions for me about my book taste before? But it looks like we're all set.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
Yeah, we've done our homework.
We've
done our homework.
Mistakes have happened.
This is Kirsten's redemption.
Yeah, exactly. Redemption arc. I'm taking it very seriously.
Yeah.
But maybe, yes, tell us usually what you like.
Yes.
Like, what are your prompts? What are we going on?
Yeah. So I tend to like sad books that will hurt me. I think we've discovered that. I like a romantasy if it has a good mix of fantasy with the romance. And I also love a contemporary romance that mixes in a lot of fiction, sad elements in it as well. I don't know what else. I'm not the biggest lover of a lot of spice, but if there's a bit of spice in it, it's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what you guys have for me though.
Okay.
Do you want to go first, Shelly?
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay, so I'm going with my tried and true pick of Starship by Sebastian. So for those of you who have never read Sebastian, she is my auto-buy author. I have convinced many people to read her books and they all love them. So I will not hear Sebastian full slander. But this one, I'm willing to hear some. She's normally known for writing historical fiction, queer historical romances in particular. But this is actually her first contemporary debut. It came out about 2 months ago, and everyone in the romance world is raving about it. Rachel Reed has recommended it on many a podcast. BK Borison said Sebastian is her desert island author. Like, if you're trapped on a desert island.
Like, that's the book.
Like, that's the book you will bring. Very high, not just me, but this is years of romance specialists approved. Okay. See, Jamie's getting excited. She's feeling it. She's feeling the vibe.
Like, all right.
Okay. So, Starship is about Simon and Charlie. They play on the same TV show together, I guess you could say, or they star on the same TV show. It was giving me like Firefly vibes, like this like campy sci-fi show. All the audience ships them together, but obviously it's not written that way. They always have women love interests, so like they're not really together, and actually in real life they're not even friends. They hate each other. Okay? Like, fully, Simon is an asshole. When you read in his POV, you kind of understand why, but he's pretentious. He grew up doing theater. Theater is what he wants to do, but he's been stuck on this show for 7 years, this camp show, which is very good, very fun. He kind of has friends, but he doesn't really let himself have friends. There's really good mental health representation, chronic migraine representation of like people think he's an asshole because he wears sunglasses all the time, but he needs it to block out the light. Anyway, so what this book is about, it's sort of, they wrapped up filming for the season. Simon has a secret. He hasn't told anyone. He's leaving the show.
Okay.
He hasn't even told the producers, like, he's out of here by, he got a gig off Broadway in New York.
Okay.
So once the show wraps, in a couple weeks, he's off to New York where he's gonna live. It's gonna be fabulous. But there's all these rumor mills already about how I'm an asshole and how they're like kicking me out. The fandom's gonna be upset. It needs to seem like Charlie and I are friends. And we're amicable. Right? Of course, situation presents itself where Charlie and Simon can go on a road trip. So Diva's gotta do what Diva's gotta do.
Yep.
Go on the road trip. It's a little... Anyway,
I smell a one bed.
it's very good. I think you'll like it because not only is the romance cute, there's elements to it that are really interesting of just sort of like, it's a character that we don't normally see. And it's a fully fleshed out character. Even myself reading it, I was like conflicted. I was like, do I like him? Do I not like him? Do we want to see his redemption? But I think you kind of realize it's just a book about two people who are very human.
Yeah.
And the romance is so cute.
I love that.
And just like the little details in it. Like Sebastian is so good at writing a line that reveals actually 3 things
Okay.
in that one line.
Love it.
So like I think you will like it because you tend to like that sort of literary style. And I think you like complex characters. So I think you'll enjoy it. I'm curious to see your thoughts of if you like love it or like it, like where you'll fall on the scale. But I think you will enjoy the experience of reading it.
Okay.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love how you went from like a heated rivalry book the other day
Yes.
to this.
Yes. I'm like, let me be more realistic. Let me be more realistic.
What am I gonna like?
Yes. What is Jamie gonna like? And not just
Play to your audience.
gotta play to the audience. Though I will say everyone that I recommend books, I have very rarely heard my recommendation was off. So I think you'll like this one.
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay. Can't wait to read
Yes,
it.
you'll
I'm
enjoy
excited.
it. Yeah.
Okay, my pick is The Arcane Arts by S.D. Coverley. This is a dark academia romantasy light. I would actually say it's more like magical. There is this grad student who is trying to do her thesis in a very scary part of magic. It's like, it's very seen as like taboo. It's like a lost art
dark
form, a dark,
magic.
exactly, a dark magic. And like how magic works in this world is like, you have to like learn it. It's like you go to school for it kind of thing.
Wizards. Okay.
Yeah.
Love.
So I would say it's actually a little bit more heavy on like academia than it is like magic.
Okay.
But that is sort of what brings her to this professor who at one point in his career was like this hotshot, had big dreams for himself, was doing kind of really groundbreaking research, that kind of stuff. But again, the dark arts are like taboo, they're kind of frowned upon. So he kind of just started to settle as like, okay, my life is just as like a tenure professor.
Yep.
Like boring, and he has like started to accept that until this person who wants to do like the girl who wants to do revive this like lost dark magic, which is like, I believe the magic is to control others. So it is like a bad dark magic too.
It's truly
It's
bad.
yes, yeah, it's very like morally gray.
Yes.
So they sort of like kind of find each other in that sense of like they're both morally gray, and they're both kind of coming together to like do this bad form of dark art magic.
Yes.
I will say it is spicy.
Okay. I'll look
So
away.
beware. Yeah, beware. But I do think you're gonna like it because it is, I would say the writing does lean a little bit more literary. It is fantasy, but fantasy light. I know you like very atmospheric writing.
Yes.
And I do think you will find that in here. A little bit, like I find it does really set the tone very well for a dark academia.
Okay.
Where I'm not sure for you is the spice. And I do know some people don't love the professor-student dynamic.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it works in here.
Yeah.
I do feel like it makes sense. And they're postgraduate. So it's not like...
Not like a child.
Exactly. It's not like I'm like first year university kind of thing. And like, this is my 50-year-old professor.
Right. Yeah.
It's appropriate.
Okay.
But I do think for you, I do think you're going to really like the writing.
I love it.
I'm excited for this one.
Okay.
All right, love. Wait, now I want to read like both your books. Like your
I
ex
know.
are good. You guys kind of ate. All right, so I have The Hollow Gods by AJ Vrana. Just to plug AJ because I love them so much. Local author, local indie author, which we love. So it takes place in like small town Vancouver. Think like small town, like with eerie vibes, like ookular, spookular. It leans a little spooky. And basically like this town is low-key kind of cursed. There's like this folklore aspect where the town girls, like young girls in the town, like once they hit their teens, usually one girl will kind of like go a little cuckoo and go into these woods that are allegedly haunted, and she'll go missing for like a few days, come back, she's not the same. And then people, like the townsfolk, will kind of like ostracize her and be like, she's mad, she's bringing the curse back to the town. So basically, this is Kai. He's a cutie. We have like Kai and Mia. And Mia, I fear, is one of the girls who gets lost in the woods. And so Mia is like kind of the next girl that people are like, something fishy about her. Like she's going a little cuckoo bananas. And she's haunted by like these dreams. Very like visceral dreams of going back into the past, right? So she feels like almost like she's caught between two worlds, essentially. Kai is very morally gray. One of like the first lines of his POV is him like describing how he loves to like punch someone and like how like violence makes him feel good. And we're just like, you might need to unpack that, which he does in a few novels later. They like have this weird interaction where it feels like familiar, maybe even a little faded, but like their souls have crossed paths before. And they unbegrudgingly start to like work together to try to figure out what's going on with this town. Why is our town cursed? How can we break this curse if there is a way to break it? And then we start to discover a little bit more about their past and their past lives and how they play into this curse. I don't want to give too much away because a lot is revealed. And they do have like a slow burn romance, which I personally really enjoy because like it doesn't happen like all at once. It's not insta love. It's very like truly a slow burn. And like he agitates her like boots. Like he's so annoying sometimes, but it's like kind of in a like why do I like you way. And then, you know, eventually they do warm up to each other. And then there's also like a cast of like very mystical side characters who play into the curse. I would recommend, you know, obviously read this first and then go into the Echoed Realms, because then you see Mia maybe step into powers that she didn't know she had. And that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, it's very like, it has like a ooky spooky vibe to it. And sometimes you don't know what's going on. I feel like in fantasy, you can kind of like predict things, especially when it's like really trope heavy and stuff. But this book kept me guessing. And I loved like how it incorporated Slavic and Irish folklore.
I love it.
Yeah, these are really good. Like, you guys had really good descriptions.
Yeah, we're cooking.
Is anyone feeling super intimidated right now?
No, I think you'll like mine.
You're all feeling confident?
I feel confident.
Okay.
I don't know who will win, but I feel like you will enjoy them all for different reasons.
Okay, yeah.
My confidence could be delusion. But like,
No, I love it. We've got some atmospheric, we've got some dark, we've got some more literary, we have a phone ringing.
yeah.
No, it never ends here.
This is what it's like to be a bookseller. Just phone ringing all day.
The reality, yeah.
I love it. Okay, so excited to read all of these. We'll see who wins in the end. I'll let you know my ratings when I get to them. Okay, we're back home. I'm actually so excited to dive into these reads because I previously had never heard of any of these reads. So I love when you just get recommendations from someone else and, you know, they're just books you've never heard of before. So I'm gonna jump into these 3 books with a complete blank slate, which I'm so excited for. In terms of which book I'm going to start with, Kirsten actually very nicely requested for me to read her choice first. So I'm going to read The Arcane Arts by S.D. Coverley first. I think she's just kind of a little nervous. She wants to know what I think about her recommendation, but I'm actually really excited to dive into this. The cover looks so cool, first and foremost. It does look almost like a literary fiction over a romantasy, which is really interesting. I kind of love that. You guys know I love a dark academia. I love an academic setting. I think with the premise of this book focusing on like really studying the arcane arts, I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of actual school stuff in this, like actual dark academia stuff that goes past just using the school for like a dark setting and environment. I do hope we actually study stuff in this book. My only hesitancy jumping into this one is that Kirsten did say it was a little bit spicy, and I feel like there are some elements of dark romance in this one, and I'm generally not a fan of dark romance, but I think the premise of this sounds really interesting, so I'm excited. Let's dive into The Arcane Arts first. Guys, it's outdoor reading weather. Yay! so happy to finally be able to get some sunshine and read at the same time. But I am about 100 pages into the Arcane Arts by S.D. Coverley. I think Kirsten did a pretty good job at giving us the summary, the synopsis for this book. But what I actually really like about this is that there's this sort of like murder mystery attached to it as well. So we of course have our main character Elspeth, and she has gone to this university, approached this professor, and is like, I want to study these arcane arts, the stark magic with you. But the purpose for her going to the school is actually because her sister passed away, and her sister actually went to the school. But not only that, there were some suspicious things about her sister's death that she just wants to investigate a little bit more into. It doesn't seem as straightforward as, you know, the police, the detectives are making it out to be. So she wants to also investigate into her sister's death, and that's one of the reasons why she is also approaching this professor to study. And I do like the portrayal of the magic and how that works in this world. It's very like ritual based, which I think is really fitting into this dark academia vibe. It's honestly reminded me a little bit of Ninth House and how it's kind of like secret society-ish. We are doing these kind of rituals to practice this dark magic, and I am liking it so far. Kirsten did mention that I would like the writing style, and I do. It definitely feels a little bit more literary than your average, I guess, dark romantasy type of a book, which is good. It reminds me a bit of Olive Blake, actually, but kind of beginner level Olive Blake before she started going full on like sentences take half of a page kind of a thing. It feels like entry-level Olive Blake, if that makes sense, but mixed maybe with a little bit of T. Kingfisher, because there's a little bit of humor in the banter as well. So the writing style, definitely interesting, definitely like that. And yeah, the story is definitely intriguing so far. I'm not hating how the romance is going, because I know Kirsten was saying how it's kind of student professor, and I'm like, I don't know if I love that, but I think the way it's done, it's written in third person POV first of all, so I feel like with that perspective you do just get a little bit of like distance from the character, so it doesn't feel like you're the one doing this, if that makes sense. It's not a first person POV. And also just the way I guess the attraction is written, it's written in kind of this obsessive way where they're kind of feeling this attraction to each other, but also a lot of it has to do with like just feeling like they want to study this dark magic, this taboo magic with one another. And I think the tie-in with that is working in this case. It's also just not using like those typical dark romance physical attraction words that you would normally see. Like, we're not seeing the chiseled jaw, we're not seeing the rock hard abs. It's described in a more of a realistic, authentic way where we're following just like real normal humans, and I think that's working as well. Anyways, I'm gonna continue reading this. I am a little bit scared of when it will become spicy because we're not at that point yet, but so far pre-spice I am enjoying this. So I'm just curious about a lot of things that are gonna happen. I'm gonna continue reading this one. Okay, time for another Arcane Arts update before I finish this book, because I have just around 100 pages left, maybe just under 100 pages. This book is not the perfect book for me. I'm sorry, Kirsten, but I will say I'm enjoying this more than I expected to ever enjoy something that is pretty reminiscent of a dark romance. Obviously, we're exploring into the taboo realm of dark romance, right? And I've always been a fan of forbidden romance, but when it crosses the line into taboo romance is usually when I like opt out and I'm like, this is just not the genre for me. But what I will say is, I mean, up until maybe the 200 page mark, I was actually liking the taboo-ness of it all, because what was happening is we have a professor and student relationship, obviously, and so just with the nature of their dynamic, we have the element of emails. And in this book, we do see a lot of their email correspondence with one another. In fact, like at the very beginning of their relationship, most of their interaction is through emails. And I was actually kind of loving that about this book, because as we were kind of growing and seeing them kind of, I guess, like interact more, get to know each other more, a lot of those taboo, forbidden moments of their relationship were kind of like masked and hidden through the emails. Like as the reader, we only learned about those parts through them kind of thinking back, like, oh, I was thinking about how our knees touched the other day, kind of a thing, looking back. And I think just the feeling of only seeing those moments through emails and not seeing them kind of happen in live time almost gave everything a little bit even more of a forbidden feeling, like it was intentional. Like, even as the reader, we're not really allowed to see this stuff happen. It's all really happening in secret. And so I think I actually really liked that secretive vibe of everything. I also like how even to this point of the story, I'm not even sure as the reader if the point is to root for them or to like them. Both of them are obviously very morally gray. Kirsten did mention that, and they are making some very questionable, shady decisions, not even with things about each other and their relationship, but things that they're doing outside of their relationship. And I am liking how we're following very purposefully flawed characters, and we're following characters that, like, yeah, you're maybe not even supposed to be fully rooting for. And so we're not really romanticizing the dark romance in this. It's just kind of happening, and we're just watching it happen, and we're able to judge for ourselves if we want to root for it or not. It's not being pushed into our faces as like, this is something you're gonna love. He's got rock hard abs, a chiseled jaw, and a length of velvet steel. That's also something we need to talk about. We are obviously getting some spicier scenes now, and while it is still a little too 50 Shades for me, let's just say that, I am actually appreciating how this author is not using our typical like spice lingo that is trendy nowadays. Like, we're not getting the length of velvet steel. We're not getting, you know, beads and whatever. I'm sure you can think of all the terms for spice that are commonly used in romanticies these days. I feel like we're quite literal with the spice in this book, and it's honestly making it easier for me to consume. Like, it's more digestible for me, it's more palatable for me. And also I like how the dark romance is really tied to what our characters are studying. They're studying this very dark magic, they're learning how to manipulate and control people. And with the dark romance element, with this power dynamic, I feel like the parallels between what they're studying with controlling someone, with kind of this power dynamic romance going on, I think that's also being done very intentionally. And I do like how we're getting a little bit more into the psychology, into why these characters are drawn to each other this way, into why they feel so obsessed with one another. And so it's taking a little bit more of a philosophical route to dark romance. That being said, I don't think I can make up my mind on a rating until I see kind of, I guess, the final direction of where everything goes. I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of the reveals in the mystery side of things have been quite predictable for me, I will say. And I do think I have kind of a good idea of what the final mystery outcome will be, what that resolution will be, but we'll see. Maybe it'll surprise me at the end. I'm definitely intrigued to keep reading. Let's finish the Arcane arts and see what happens. You know what? I did like this. I did, in the end. I think I really liked this book. I feel like I want to give this a 4-star. Like, it was pretty good. And I am kind of on one boat thinking that's kind of unexpected because the romance in this is kind of a dark romance. But I did find the ratio of mystery plot and dark academia to the romance was pretty well balanced. There was, you know what, there were moments, specifically like more in the middle of this book, where we did get, you know, a decent amount of spice, more spice than I normally prefer in my books. But getting to the end, like in the last 100 pages of this book, we didn't get a lot of that. We really kind of zeroed in, honed in on the plot and the mystery of everything. And in the end, there is a lot of messaging and commentary on like what it's like to give up control, to give up power of your mind and body to someone else, and vice versa. On the other hand, to have someone entrust you with something like this, and seeing their dynamic with one another tied into their ambition and what they're studying very directly, and also seeing how that affects their bond in negative ways too. Like, there were moments where they were keeping things from each other, and there were moments where they maybe didn't trust each other fully, because it's like, okay, well, you literally have the power to change people's minds on things. Like, did you change my mind? Can I fully trust you in this? And I did like a lot of those types of moments in this book. I also, yeah, I think the writing was really wonderful. For me, it was really a mix of Olivia Blake, as I mentioned, but like less abstract Olivia Blake, less flowery Olivia Blake, combined with Leigh Bardugo, but ninth house version of Leigh Bardugo. So this was kind of cool. And yeah, were there parts where I was like, this power dynamic, this professor-student relationship with this pretty significant age gap is a little bit uncomfortable for me. I feel like the way it happened was like the best way it could have happened, with everything being, you know, quite respectfully done, I would say, and also very consensual. And I think I'll always go back to the fact that, you know, this book was written in third person perspective with a little bit of distance put between the reader and the characters. And so in that way, this book felt less 50 Shades and more just like a mystery dark academia fiction with a romance in it. So there was actually a lot to love about this one. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4-star. Definitely a surprising read for me, definitely making me a little bit less afraid of dark romance or taboo romance as a genre. So if this is something that you've been wanting to dive into but have felt kind of scared to do so like I have, try out the Arcane Arts by SD Coverley. This one was very surprising to me. So that is our first read. Great job, Kirsten, with that recommendation. It definitely made me kind of jump out of my comfort zone, but it was rewarding. I'm gonna pick up Shelly's recommendation next. So Starshipped by Sebastian. This is a queer contemporary romance. I definitely want to pick this one up next before I get to Liz's recommendation, because her recommendation feels very much more like a dark setting, maybe a dark romantasy again. So to change things up in between, I feel like Shelly's rec is going to work very well. But yeah, Shelly already gave us the plot synopsis when they recommended this one, so I'm excited to dive into, you know, this TV show rivalry turned lovers situation. I think it's going to be very fun to read. So Starshipped is going to be next. Okay, I actually did in fact finish Starshipped by Sebastian. I didn't do a mid-book reading update because I honestly just read this so quickly that I don't know, I looked up and it was over. It was done. But I did enjoy this. It definitely wasn't the perfect read for me, but I thought it was really cute, really tender, really sweet. There were some wonderful moments with the banter, and I do appreciate, and Shelly mentioned this as well, but I appreciate how our protagonist was actually like struggling with a lot of things and was really just misunderstood by the people around him. Like, he was very, very prone to migraines. So there were so many things that he had to do to try and prevent migraines, and he had this like health anxiety about it almost, you know. There were certain things that he was really specific on, like, oh, I can't eat that, I have to stick to this schedule, I have to do this and that, all to just like decrease the risk of getting a migraine today. And I feel like there were a lot of moments like that with our protagonist Simon that I honestly related to. Like, there are a lot of things that I do to prevent, like, yeah, migraines and headaches and stuff like that, and I don't know, I just felt really seen with reading Simon as a character. So I really, really loved that. And then on top of that, I really liked his bond with Charlie. I thought they worked really well together, both of them. Neither of them were perfect characters. They were both flawed, but I loved how they were flawed in different ways, but also in ways that allowed them to understand each other really. It was really evident that they, you know, they were so in tune with one another that they knew what the other person needed. They knew things that might trigger them in certain ways, and they knew how to deal with it as well. Like, that was maybe a little bit of a learning curve at some points, but they figured it out in the end. And I thought their bond with one another was really, really cute. And I also think that the dislike to lovers trope was done really well in here. I wouldn't call it enemies to lovers. It's hard to call any contemporary romance a true enemies to lovers situation, but there was definitely a true dislike with Charlie and Simon at the beginning of this book. And even in our first initial moments with them together, like, you could tell they didn't really know how to interact with one another. They truly like did not like each other, and they really didn't get along, but it also didn't feel forced or exaggerated. And I think this happens also a lot in either dislike to lovers or enemies to lovers, is that the dislike or the enemies part can feel very exaggerated, very forced, just to fabricate this enemies or dislike situation. And I feel like the move from dislike to like slowly learning about one another to slowly opening up to one another, I feel like that was done really naturally. None of it felt fake, none of it felt forced, it felt truly authentic. So I really like that as well. And I am actually really happy that Shelly recommended this for me in this month of June, Pride Month. I think this was a wonderful read. There were definitely some mentions, reminders of things that happen in our real world, like queer baiting that is present in media, stuff like that. And I like those things are just always, I feel like it's always good to just be reminded from time to time about things like that. I don't think any of these themes were like really deep dived into because this is at the end of the day a romance novel, but I do feel like the inclusion of some of those themes was really well done and also really suited the story, and we saw how things like this can affect individuals like our main characters that we were following in the story. I think honestly my biggest problem with this book and why this isn't like a perfect 5-star read for me is I did start feeling a little bit bogged down in just a lot of the dialogue and interaction between our main characters. The story was very much just following the two of them, and I know like it's a romance, obviously we're gonna follow the two of them, but you guys know me, I tend to prefer stories that, I don't know, encompass a wider span, either a wider range of characters or just with a lot of other subplots happening. I feel like this one really focused on the dynamic between the two of them, the relationship. But for me personally, I honestly wanted to see more interaction with our characters and the cast of secondary characters, which was honestly truly a cast because we're working with characters on a TV show. So all of their kind of primary circle of people that they interact with were other cast members or other people who worked on the show. And I feel like we had a lot of potential in those secondary characters where they were unique. I liked kind of the individual bonds that our characters had with them, and I feel like some of that could have been expanded a little bit more. I wanted to just see more of the other characters, and because the majority of this book was just Charlie and Simon and their interactions and their dialogue with one another, I just started to get like a little bit bored and bogged down with that, particularly around the middle point. So that was kind of almost the only thing I didn't really truly love about this book. But yeah, I think Charlie and Simon were really cute. They were sweet with one another. I liked seeing their struggles. I liked how they uplifted one another and supported one another in the times that they really needed. And so I'm gonna rate this one a 3.75. So that is Starshipped. I am now going to pick up Liz's recommendation for me. So that's The Hollow Gods by AJ Vrana, diving into a spookier, moodier kind of a book. Really interested actually in how this is set in Vancouver. So it seems like we have a fantasy book set in Canada, which I think is super fun. I am ready to dive into something a little bit darker, a little bit, how did Liz put this? A little oocular spookular. So I'm gonna read this one next, a story about mists that kind of affect these girls in this small village, I guess. And I'm definitely intrigued to read about kind of what's going on with these missing girls that disappear from the small village and how they're different when they come back. I want to see kind of like what's all behind that. So yeah, let's get started into these Hollow Gods. Let's do a little reading update. I have just passed the 100-page mark of The Hollow Gods. This is definitely a vibe, and it's definitely a different take on romantasy. It honestly doesn't really feel like a romantasy at the moment, which is probably a good thing for me and my current reading mood, so that's a nice surprise. This is almost more just reading like a hazy mystery, kind of like a slow burn mystery. What's kind of interesting to me is that we're following 3 different POVs in this. So we have our main girl, of course. She's the one who seems to be showing signs of becoming like the next girl to get lost in the woods. So we have her, and then we have what I think is our main male love interest, and he's this sort of mysterious character, person, being thing who wakes up at the beginning of the story next to one of like the missing girls who just died, and he doesn't know how he got there. So there is a little bit of a memory amnesia trope there. You guys know I love to read about that. So we have him, that's Kai, and then our third POV is Mason, and Mason is actually a doctor who has moved to this small town to sort of like get a little break from his normal job. He's feeling burnt out. He just lost a patient, so he's feeling very bad about that, and he just wanted to escape and like live in this small town for a little bit. But when he arrives, he starts learning about this weird mysterious stuff and superstition that's been running through this town, and he starts trying to get to the bottom of it with the purpose of really just trying to debunk the myth, like trying to debunk the legend and being like, no, there's definitely a scientific reason for all of this happening. He's one of those characters. And the funny thing is, I feel like his POV is my favorite to read so far. It's definitely the most intriguing, I think, because he's coming from a place where he doesn't know this legend and he's learning everything new for the first time. I just want to see his story kind of as I'm going through this. So far with the other two, they're a little bit more abstract stories, and I will say when I first, like when I read page 1, it did feel like we were kind of just dropped into this book like midway kind of. It was one of those really jarring starts where you just get like plopped into this world and you're like, wait, what is going on? Where is everyone? We don't really like learn too much about our characters, I think. Probably mostly because a lot of our characters don't really know how they fit into the story to begin with. Like they're kind of clueless as to what's going on. So then as the reader reading in their perspectives, you feel that like sense of like, I don't know anything that's happening around me. And so yeah, we just kind of get plopped into this. And it's definitely a mood. It's definitely a vibe. I do feel like because we had that kind of like drop into the story though, I'm not really connecting to the characters yet. I mean, I'm only on page 100, so maybe it'll happen, but I feel like I just need to learn a little bit more about our characters to get invested in them. So not really feeling attached to the characters yet, but I think our world, our setting, I think the mystery that's going on is very interesting, and the writing is definitely really moody. So those are my thoughts right now. I'm wondering if it's just also because I'm not really in the mood for this type of book. I feel like if I picked this up in October, in November, I'd be like, this is the perfect vibe for this, and it's kind of like a sunny week. I'm like, I want to read outside, I want to go to the park, I want to sit out on my patio and read out there, and the environment of where I'm reading and the environment of this book are just kind of clashing. So I feel like that's also probably affecting my experience right now. I'm just going to continue reading for, I don't know, the rest of today and see how this mystery unfolds. Okay, I have just about 30 pages left in The Hollow Gods, and I'm so sorry to say it's kind of gone downhill for me. It has gone downhill. I think as the story has gone on, the romance obviously started kicking in, and I just don't really love this type of romance. I think it was one of those connections where we had our two characters immediately kind of drawn to one another, and it could be, you know, part of the magic in this world, it could be part of the legends, they just had a pull with one another. It could be outer forces affecting them, and that's why they're just like sort of attracted to one another. But I just didn't really like, I wasn't feeling their connection, their draw with one another. I also am just like not a big fan of their banter and the way they interact and talk with one another. It's kind of giving me the feeling of like when you're a kid or a young teenager and you have a crush on someone, so then you're mean to them. You know, it's like that instinct. It's like, ooh, I like you, I'm gonna be mean to you, and that's how I'm gonna tell you and show you that I like you. And that's might work for some readers, but for me, unfortunately, it's not something that I really love or seek out in a romance plotline. And then on top of that, I just feel like the writing style has kind of switched from hot and cold for me. At the beginning, I was really loving the kind of lush atmospheric writing, but again, as our like, I guess, two main protagonists started interacting more, we got more of their dialogue and stuff, and their banter, yeah, it's just not really my style. It is a little bit more crass. It does feel a little bit clunky against the more beautiful, lush style of writing when we're kind of doing the storytelling portion of it. So I haven't really been loving that. I think also as the story has gone on, it's not like a very fast-paced story. It feels like you're kind of meandering through this mystery, meandering through this haze, through this mist, and that's definitely a vibe. But again, maybe I'm just not in the mood for that type of a story right now because it's like a bright, beautiful, sunny day outside. But I feel like as I'm reading, I am kind of missing a sense of purpose through the story. Like we're just kind of floating through it versus like purposefully making our way through it. So unfortunately, this one's not quite working for me. I think it's just not my type of book, but I'm gonna read the last 30 pages and we'll see what happens at the very end of this. Yeah, so I did finish The Hollow Gods yesterday, and I don't think those last 30 pages really changed my mind about it. I think everything I said previously still stands. I'm not the biggest fan of when this lush ambient type of writing is mixed in with this crass style of dialogue. Like, for me, it's just like pick one or the other. Just choose one and commit to it, and I found just the experience of switching back and forth really took me out of the story, and it felt, yeah, a little bit disjointed to me, I think, in the end. So, unfortunately, I've been kind of mulling over the rating in my head. I'm like, I don't want to be too mean, you know, but I do need to be honest with my ratings, obviously, and just, you know, remind myself that this isn't personal to the author who wrote it, and it's also not personal to the lovely, lovely Liz who recommended it to me. I have to rate this a 2-star. I do. I didn't really enjoy this. I thought the beginning had so much promise. When I read the first couple chapters, I was actually really engaged and I was really vibing with it, but just as the story went on, it's kind of like the writing style took a turn, and it's one of those books that to me didn't really know what it wanted to be. Like, did it want to be this really lush mythological legend type of a story, or did it want to be kind of this dark romantasy type of a story? And I think just like the mesh between those two didn't work for me. So that's The Hollow Gods. So to wrap this video up, I actually want to give the results to the booksellers directly. So let's just give them a little call, shall we? We have Kirsten and Shelly. Hello. How are you guys doing?
Good. We're like at the edge of our seats waiting
Yeah.
to find out what you thought.
It's been a
we're
week.
like,
It's been a
who's
fun
gonna win?
week.
Like, surprised you got through them so fast.
I know. We were like, you must have loved them.
Obviously. I mean, I just devour books. It's just what I do. So do you guys want ratings or do you just want the ranking?
We want like both.
We want everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want
You
it.
want it all? You want all the information? Okay, let's start. In third place, kind of last place, but like we'll call it third place, is actually Liz. I'm sorry, Liz, we don't have Liz here, but
Yeah.
The Hollow Gods by AJ Vrana. I unfortunately didn't love this one. I actually rated it a 2-star. I'm so sorry. There were just things with some of the writing style that I didn't love, and certain things about the romance plot, I think. It was a little bit too like wolf lamb for me, and it wasn't my favorite. Have you two read this one as well?
I haven't. No. I've been meaning to because it is like a local author who we love in the shop. So I've like been meaning to. It's on my TBR, but I have not got to it yet.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. I wanted to love this one. Still love supporting local authors, but it just didn't do it for me. So that's third place. It was a really wonderful
No, fair
concept,
enough.
though. In second place, we have Shelly.
Okay. It's okay. I knew
So-
when you said you,
Yep. So this means first place
Wow.
to me.
Kirsten, we love round of applause for Kirsten.
Number one, first place. So I did enjoy this. I gave it a 3.75. I really like
Ooh,
Simon and Charlie. Pretty good rating. I love their bond with one another. I loved how they were able to kind of like sense what the other one needed. And there were some like really cute moments that actually made me go like, oh, like a lot of the time. So loved their relationship. I just want to see more. I loved kind of the secondary characters. I wanted to see more of kind of like the full cast and see more of the interactions there. That's kind of what I was missing, but I did really enjoy this. I read it so quickly, just like blasted through it. So
Yeah.
really wonderful rec. And then, of course, yes, in first place, Redemption earned Kirsten with the Arcane Arts.
Yeah, just give me my crown now.
Yes, I need like a prize to give you, but I did really love this. It surprised me. It definitely is a lot kind of more 50 Shades, I would say, than I normally read, and there's definitely some dark romance, taboo romance in there, but I did like the writing style, so you were right about that. It felt very literary. I liked the more kind of psychological approach to dark romance. It really worked for me.
Yes.
And I liked how kind of throughout we weren't supposed to really be rooting for them. Like you could, but you also couldn't. I liked how it was kind of left open to the reader and it wasn't kind of like forcing it down your throat. So yeah, I liked a lot of things that this book explored. So congratulations.
Yay!
You were the winner.
Yes. Well deserved.
Well, I'm going to be talking about this for months.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Yep, the champion for until I guess maybe we'll do it again next year. We'll see who wins next year.
totally.
Yes.
Do like a new round of booksellers too. We can put the other ones to the test.
Exactly. But Kirsten won because she tailored the recommendation like to you specifically, which like love,
Yeah.
and that's what you're supposed to do. I'm happy
Love.
that that you still like the book that I chose for me.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't like I picked it and I was like, I fully like, no, this is not your normal cup of tea. But I was like,
Yep.
I think you'd be surprised with like sort of like the cute contemporary,
Yeah.
like of that
Yeah.
genre. I think
Yeah.
the Cat Sebastian is one that I think like is universally beloved and well written.
Yes, very well written. Love the writing. And I feel like it was very well needed this week too, because we kind of had the dark reads kind of sandwiching it in the middle. So it was a good kind of progression of reading.
I always find like star ratings are so interesting because everybody sees it so differently.
Yes. I feel like your 4-star would probably be like my
Yes.
4.5.
Yeah.
So
Or,
like,
like-
even a 3.75, I'm like, that's a normal person's 4-star.
Yeah.
Or just
Yeah.
like I see it as
Like
like 3 is like average,
Yes.
right? So like 3 is like I
Yes.
didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. Like it was like good. It was
Yes.
like fine.
But for some people, their barometer, right, is
Yes.
1 star. And 1 star is like, I read this book.
yeah.
2 star is, it was okay. You know?
Exactly, yeah.
So
Yeah. What are your, like, how do you rate books?
basically everything is, if I finish the book, it's automatically a 4-star. If I didn't like it, it's a 3-star.
Wow.
Basically.
Really?
Well, the act of
Wow.
writing, I think, gets you 2 stars for me
Yeah, okay.
automatically. You did the thing, you put out the book. I know how hard it is to do that.
That's
so I
true.
think any book, it's kind of like 3-star is like my average person's 1-star. So like
Makes sense.
everything's 3-star default. If it's good, 4-star. If it's like excellent, I'll do 5-star. But like for me, I know
Wow.
some people reserve their 5 stars
For like
for like genuinely
Yeah.
like this is like the most amazing book of all time and I will reread
Yeah.
it multiple times, whereas I can be like it's a 5-star and I loved it but I know I won't reread it. It's like if
Yeah.
for
but-
me,
but I'll say it's like one of my favorites or like a new favorite.
5 is like life changing. Like
Yeah.
5-star is like this is
Yeah.
exquisite, like crazy, like you know, it's like life changing for me.
Yeah.
4 is like it's very good. It's like
It's very
yes.
good, yeah.
better than average. It's very
Yeah.
good.
I'll give
3
like-
average.
Yes.
I'll give like a 4.5 though. Like a 4.5 is like it's excellent. I just won't reread it many times.
I love that. All right. Well,
Exactly.
thank you guys so much, everyone. Check out Hopeless Romantic Books, please. They also have their own YouTube channel now and podcast and everything. So check them out on all their socials. If you don't live in Toronto, you can still participate.
Yes.
Yes,
And we
exactly.
do ship your way wherever that way is.
Yep. It goes everywhere.
Amazing. It goes everywhere. That should be your slogan.
Smut reaches all corners of the world.
Exactly. Exactly.
And we love it. All right, there we have it. That's going to be it for this video. I actually really enjoyed stepping outside my comfort zone a little bit this week. Some of the books I read were rewarding, like stepping out of my comfort zone, you know, was worth it. And some of them, maybe not so much, but that's kind of the fun and beauty in reading, right? But all that to say, thank you so much to Hopeless Romantic Books for helping out, participating in this video. They have actually started their own YouTube channel and their podcast. They kind of post these casual chit chat videos every week, just catching up on what they're currently reading, and they give some book recs there as well. So definitely check out their channel. I love them so much. But I am going to leave you guys here for now. So that being said, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like and a comment. If you don't know what to comment down below, let me know if you like this concept, because I had a lot of fun today. So I'm wondering if we should do more of these, maybe exploring some more indie bookstores in this city. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. If you like me, subscribe, do that bell thing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!